All right, great. So we're recording. Hey, everybody. My name is Fred Ginyard. I am the North Central Community Organizer with the Free Library of Philadelphia. And I'm excited to have Aisha here with us.
Hi guys.
And today we're going to continue our conversations around gun violence in our communities. As some of you know, Soul Shots, the photo exhibit of victims of gun violence, is up at the Logan Library. Unfortunately, y'all can't come see it right now because of COVID's, boo COVID. But as soon as we're able to open back up to the public, we'll definitely be welcoming you all to come out and see the exhibit. But for right now, we're going to jump in and we're going to chat with Aisha. Hey.
Yes.
So, Aisha, can you share a little bit about who you are, how you got connected with Soul Shots?
Absolutely. My name is Aisha Drayton, as you stated. And in 2018, I lost my son to gun violence in Atlanta, Georgia. Iseir George was home visiting from college, and his life was tragically taken from us December the 21st of 2018. Needless to say, I came back home to Philadelphia, and in doing that, there were a number of individuals who were surrounding me to support me, to uplift me, to direct me, and encourage me. And somebody had spoken to me about Soul Portrait and was like, "I want you to reach out to them. Isir's life deserves a voice." And they give you that platform. And so I did. And I was really, really happy when they got back with me, which was like right away. They did that. Juliet, who was our artist, came out to the home, and this lady was amazing. Her whole aura, everything about her. She took on our family and the life of my son. And in doing that, she created the most amazing portrait of Iser that I've ever seen. Since then, you guys have never let my hands go. So a portrait, and stating that this entire time, you guys reach out to me constantly, let me know when things are going on, where the exhibits are, and even to this interview, just the inclusion, to make sure that I still continue to have a platform and give Iser's life a voice. So I thank you all for that.
No, and you know what? We're really happy to be here, and to be working with Soul Shot, and also to create space for you,
Yes.
to honor Aziet, right? And that's what for me. That's what's really important is that we're honoring his story, that we're telling his story in the hopes that it touches someone else.
Yes.
Um, and so yeah, so I'm really excited to that we're able to do that. Um, and so I guess, do you want to talk a little bit more around just how you were impacted, your family's been impacted by gun violence, and
Absolutely.
losing?
Absolutely. Again, in 2018, my son was home on break from college, and someone tragically took his life. Someone who didn't think his life was worth living, and so naturally that broke my family to pieces. And even to this day, we live in this current world and we live in our new normal. However, the impact that gun violence has had on our household has been very impactful. My daughter has to seek counseling. My husband and myself had to go through marriage. There are a number of things that the loss of a loved one, the impact of the loss of a loved one, of how it affects the home. Starting new jobs, being homeless, not homeless per se, but having to come back home and move with someone and leaving everything that you've ever built for your entire household, leaving that behind and starting over. The impact has been grave, I should say. It's But so in all of that, I still knew that my son's life did not stop or could not stop on December the 21st, 2018. Isaiah was an amazing kid. He was very thoughtful. He was kind. He was considerate. I'm not just saying this because I'm his mother. I promise you. his high school started a scholarship in honor of him. This kid had won that same year of losing his life. He had won the principal award, which was a scholarship to go away to college. His mentorship program funded his entire dorm room, because he was an amazing kid. He was one out of hundreds of children. It was only 5 kids who were selected to go visit the White House that year from the state of Georgia, and Iseir being one of the 5. So he was an amazing kid. His life spoke for itself, and so I knew on December the 21st I had to carry that, that I could not allow his life to end there. They didn't get that much power. They broke us, but they couldn't break us. And I knew I couldn't let that happen. So I decided to take on Iseir's life as I knew it, and run with it. And then doing that, I started an organization called Eyes Vision, which is a program that provides resources and direction for individuals who need to know where to go, who lives lot, who have been affected by gun violence, much like my family, who needs to know where to go to find funding, who needs to know where to go to find food, because unlike everybody else, I was fortunate enough to be able to start over. There are many of us who can't because we don't have the strength or the willpower. And some days I don't know where it's coming from. However, there are some families who cannot get back up, because they're enduring this pain every single day. And so I want to make sure that those families are taken care of, those families are provided for. So this past year, through Eyes Vision, I was able to 10 children. Wanted it to be high schoolers, but it ended up being all types of children from all walks of life. Actually, who were recipients, 10 recipients received laptops to ensure that they are able to go on to Zoom classes and complete homework assignments efficiently and effectively, right? And I also was able to go out. The last giving that I was able to do was a holiday drive, where we were able to feed 150 families. I've since then partnered with Wawa, Olive Garden, Toys for Tots, and I'm looking to partner with the 18th District Police District, to continue to do work in our communities because it's required.
Absolutely. And can I just how amazing, amazing you are, and the work that you're doing. Let folk know how they can connect with. I'm sorry, I
Eyes
was about to butcher
Vision.
the name.
No, that's fine. With Eyes Vision. So right now my platform I utilize is social media. That's one of the greatest platforms. And even on top of that, word of mouth. Um, so you can reach me at Aisha versus Ish on Instagram. And again, that's AISHA underscore versus underscore Esh. So I'm looking forward to building the bridge, again with our communities, going out acting as a liaison for those who don't have the strength to do it. So I will continue to fight, to again take on the life of my son and to carry out the work that he was doing when he was here. I didn't mention this in the beginning, was one who had me open up my home to school friends who would run into issues at home. If they ran into an issue at home and they didn't have anywhere to stay, we opened up our homes and we did that. There were individuals who didn't have anything. We opened up our homes and we did that. I see her at a basketball court in front of our home, and he mentored a lot of children in our community, at that same court, right? He also was one who he was a sneaker fanatic, but he wasn't one who was greedy with them. Whenever he was done with them, he donated them to other children who needed them. So I'm trying to in turn continue to carry on his life and his legacy by doing the things that he did while he was here.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And he sounds like he was an amazing gentleman.
He was
Amazing.
he was an amazing kid. I can't specify that enough. I say this, that's the part I think that hurts the most, is that they took an asset. They
Mm.
took an asset. I just had a memory come across my feed on today, and it was a reminder. Today was the day that he took the test to enlist into the military, and he had passed that test, which is the entry level to get into the military. And I tell you, that year we changed our direction. He came to me and said, after going to the White House, He said, Mom, I think I want to go to college, because on that same trip, he did a college tour, and
Mm-hmm.
they went to Howard. They went to visit Howard, and he came home and he said, Mom, I want to go to college. And I'm thinking, we're behind the curveball. We were going into the military. What are you talking about? And so I believed wholeheartedly in him. If that was something he wanted to do and he was positive about doing it, I was certain that he was going to become just amazing at it. He was going to get in there and be successful in a short period of time that he was in college. His dean, his mentor at college, everybody was able to speak highly of him. I received calls from that campus that very night, and they could not believe that we had lost someone so great. That lets you know how impactful his life was. He was
Mm-hmm.
just a kid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So one of the things that, we also wanted to talk about is, you know, gun violence is an epidemic in our community. It's killing us. Um, and we know we need it to end. And I I'm a firm believer that I'm not the smartest person in the world, and that it's going to take all of us, right, coming together to identify solutions, right, because it's just not one solution. And so I guess, what would you see as some of the solutions to gun violence and so what we're seeing in our communities right now?
Absolutely, that's a great question. Um, So I, along with other organizations in the city of Philadelphia, has taken on the fight to help to combat gun violence. And you said it yourself. There is no one clear answer. One of the things that I's Vision does is we go after the families. I feel like when you help the family, you help part of the solution, right? You become a part of the solution in doing that. It's easy to go into their household and just feed those individuals one time, but that doesn't solve the problem, because a lot of, let's just be clear, after speaking with some individuals, and I'm not saying this is every case, but in some instances, you got young men who are placed into positions where their lives become um, what's the wording I'm looking for? Where they're kind of set up for
Mm-hmm.
failure, because they got to get out there and help their households, opposed to being so focused on education and help and going to school and putting themselves in a better position to help their households. They're looking at the immediate fixture, and the immediate fixture is to get out there, to sell a pack, and to help feed my family, right? And again, this is in every household, but for the ones that is the case, getting out there and making sure that these families, these moms, these dads are assisted in a way where those kids can actually focus on being children and going to school and putting themselves in a better position has to become one of the goals. We have
Mm-hmm.
to help the household. We have to provide more resources. We have to get individuals out of a mindset of when they go outside, all they see is trash in their communities, so they feel like they have no way out. We have to we have to provide a better way. These kids have no hope. They have no future. Everything around them is dying. If it's not due to COVID, it's because of gun violence. Everything around them is dying. And if we don't begin to fix the problem there and change the mindsets of these individuals, we are going to continue to stay in a losing battle. We got to attack the household holistically and help these individuals. So building better household builds better communities. Building better communities build a better world. Building a better world lessens the amount of violence, in my opinion.
No, I think that was amazing. I honestly, like, I could not have said that better myself. You know, a lot of times when I think about gun violence, um, for me it's like, what are the root causes, right? Like
Yeah,
we got to do some digging, and we gonna find this
absolutely,
answer.
absolutely.
Um, and I love that you acknowledge the circumstances of some of our young men, where they are set up, right. And I feel like oftentimes in this conversation around gun violence, people forget the humanity of people. And I know, um, if you like, I've had, my cousin was just recently murdered,
I'm
um,
sorry.
and well, I want to go out there and be like, let's take them out. I actually had to stop and say that
Listen,
there's a reason why, right? Like it's
what's
more
the
than
reason?
just this one young
Yeah,
person who killed another.
yeah, yeah.
We got to
It's
get
it's
deep.
It's way deeper than that. I had an old boss that would always tell me to look at every situation and peel the onion back. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
do it. What is layers to every
Mm-hmm.
situation. There's layers to everything. Peel that onion back. When you get to the root of the issue, there lies the problem. And that's that's the issue that we're not facing. We're just looking at these individuals, like you said, at the level of hurt that they implement on us. I had to see past the hurt that the young men that killed my son that they implemented on me. I had to see past that hurt and actually pray for them because there is a need. Those kids, I say this all the time. My son is not dead because I didn't pray for him. My son is not dead because I wasn't a mother, a good mother. My son is dead because somebody didn't pray for them young men, and my son is dead because somebody didn't love them properly. And
Mm.
so I pray for that need, even in jail, that God touches their heart. And I don't mean to get all spiritual, but I pray that God touches their heart and to the point where, because God knows, and those individuals knows what they were lacking when they went out there and didn't see the value of a life that it was so easily for them to take.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a problem, and those individuals being um honest with themselves know what that issue is, right? And so if we all, go out there, like I just watched the documentary, and a young man in the documentary stated, it's a rippling effect. You hurt one person and then there's retaliation. Everybody want to go back and hurt you for hurting them. But hurt people, and it's going to be a continuous cycle until somebody says, no, I want to break that. I want to let that young man know, because at the end of the day, they still got to stand before God. And I need them young men to know that um, if this is the only God they get to see while here on earth, that's what I'm going to show you. I don't have the right to hate you for your actions because I don't understand your actions. I don't have the right to hate you because you took something that was so precious to me. I have a right though to try to understand why you did what you did. What brought you to that place? What implemented such hate and pain inside of you that could allow you to do such a thing? So that's the obligation we have as a community to these young men, because we've already done them a disservice. Somebody's providing them with the guns. Somebody's putting them in a position to lose. So what does the rest of the community owe these children? We owe them the right to try to understand, even when they hurt us. That's easier said than done. It is. I'm talking about loving the young men that took something so precious to me. And again, it was an asset to this world. I say it has so much to offer, but it doesn't help me. It doesn't bring my son back to hate him. I get nothing from that. God gets no glory from that, and I get nothing from that. What I do get, though, every time I do something in honor of my son, when I get the thank yous and I get the smiles, that is satisfaction for me. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Hmm. Woo, you speak you touching my soul right now. Woo!
I'm
Woo! No,
when
it's
when people ask me how, I there is no other explanation but the joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy I gotta tell myself that every day, even the days when it's hard to roll out of the bed. I gotta and it's hard to separate who you are spiritually. You know what I mean? Because
mm-hmm.
this is who I am. This is Iseir's mom. This was the life Iseir lived. This was the life I taught him. So I can't explain to you who Iseir was without showing you who resides inside of me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I appreciate and honor you for showing us you, right? For uplifting his name, and for being here and being willing to be open and to share your story, because it is so important.
Yeah,
Um, I think in particular the piece about breaking the cycle of hurt, right?
breaking
Breaking
it is.
that cycle, and I and it is easier said than done, but you
Yeah,
know we gotta break it if we want
we
to end
got
if we want to
to.
end the violence, we gotta break it.
I want, if I say nothing else today, I want everyone who hears the words that come out of my mouth now. If you know the pain that loved one's parents felt that night they learned they lost their loved one, That's not a pain you want to inflict on anybody, not even your enemy. I would never want anyone to feel what I felt and what I continue to feel. So I say to everybody who's lost someone, who feels like going back out there and pulling the trigger to even out the score. I say to you, if you know the pain that that loved one felt the night they lost their child, you would never ever pick up a gun to do it again or consider doing it again. Stop, stop. The pain is too great. It's too great. And that pain just inflicts more pain and inflicts more pain and inflicts more pain. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. We are better than that. We deserve better than that. There's a generation behind every generation that exists that's watching, and we owe them something different. We owe them something more. Let's stop.
I gotta stop right there. I cannot continue. Like that was I I ain't got nothing else to say. I got like I can't even think of a question to come up after that. I can't
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
yes. Stop.
Stop. That's it.
Ooh, ooh,
That's it.
you didn't get me
Yeah.
chills all over my body.
I know.
Ooh, because I felt it. I felt
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean it with every part of my being. Like I can't express that enough. I still talk to other moms who and I know everybody is in their own stages and where they are with their grief. And I find so many of them say, how do you forgive them? And I know that they're not there yet, but I trust God. I pray for everybody who tells me they can't ever forgive that individual that took their loved one. And I trust God that He did it for me, that He's going to do it for somebody else. I believe
Amen.
Him. I believe Him on that. So yep.
Mm. All right.
It's been
Well,
a pleasure.
yeah. Well, Miss Aisha, I want to thank you
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so much
Absolutely.
for being here, for being willing to speak with us, for sharing your story. Um,
Absolutely.
I y'all y'all she didn't send me to church. Like y'all don't even understand. Woo!
You got
Um,
amazing.
just
That's the
thank
sword.
you. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
For this opportunity. I do mean that everybody who ever gives I say a platform, I am forever indebted to them. So I hate that I can't come into the library to see the exhibit, but I know that you guys have taken well care of it. So again, thank you all.
Absolutely. So as soon as we can open up, we will open up to the public to gain interest into seeing the exhibit. Um, so we were planning to hold a community visual on December
Yeah,
30th.
yeah.
But due to COVID restrictions, we're gonna have to push it and move it. As soon as we know when that is,
Okay.
we will let you know. We will let the rest of our community know. So definitely
Okay.
please be on the lookout. And tune
Okay.
in on Wednesdays for more conversations like this, for us talking with community members, getting different perspectives. There's a former FBI agent who's going to be one of these who we're going to be interviewing. There is another community member who works for a city council person we're going to be interviewing. So we're going to be interviewing all kinds of people from all walks of life, survivors of gun violence. So please tune in every Wednesday. That we posting up on our Facebook. And again, thank you so much.
Thank,
And I will see you all soon.
thank you guys.